What's going on, everybody? My name is LB the Realist with Surrealistic Studios, Surreal News, Surreal at Night, where the real is surreal. And it gets most surreal, folks. So I just watched, first of all, I seen Jackson Hinkle. He did a segment on the Vanguard interviewing Lee Camp from Redacted Tonight. And he prompted me, so shout out Jackson. He was the first one to prompt me into doing this segment of my own, because I had to go back and watch the Vanguard episode with Lee Camp just to fully understand what was going on and what Jackson was talking about. But Jackson played the end of the interview, which was basically the gist of it. The Vanguard had an interview with Lee Camp from Redacted Tonight, and during the most of the interview was very, very good. I mean, it was very good and informational. They talked about Joe Biden. They talked about Afghanistan. They even talked about UFOs. But something happened at the very end of the interview. And I just wanted to go ahead and give my 2 cents on the matter, because it's really funny to watch, but at the same time, it's like cringy. It's really cringy and awkward. And Jackson correctly pointed out that it was a very awkward exchange. So towards the end of the interview, Lee Camp says something to the extent of, I realize that you guys have disagreements with MPP, Movement for a People's Party, but I want to let you guys know that, and I'm paraphrasing here. He's like, I want to let you guys know that, these are a really good group of people. They're really hardworking, and they're really trying to do something good. And Gavin specifically, because it's Gavin and Zach who are the hosts of the Vanguard. Gavin was up in arms about Nick Brana not coming on the Vanguard. And Zach actually made mention of it as well, that they had extended the olive branch to Nick Brana from the People's Party to come on their show and to talk about some of the grievances the people had, and some of the grievances being that there's not a lot of democracy in Movement for a People's Party. There were some issues that happened. I know of one incident where there was some kind of racial tension in one of the chats or one of the calls, and the issue wasn't handled properly. I believe the story goes that they actually kicked out the person who was being harassed instead of the harasser. I may have that incorrect. I didn't jump into that whole story, but these are some of the allegations that are coming out, some of which the Vanguard alluded to. And they made mention that, Nick hasn't come on our show to properly talk about any of this stuff, or to acknowledge any of this stuff, something about infiltrators being in MPP. And they said, he hasn't acknowledged this. And Lee Camp was like, you know what, he has acknowledged it. And they're like, well, no, he hasn't. And again, they said, well, he can come on our show and talk about it. And Lee Camp was like, well, somebody coming on your show, that doesn't mean anything. Like, just because somebody doesn't come on your show in particular doesn't mean that they're wrong, or it doesn't mean that they can't defend themselves. It just means that they don't want to come on your show. And this was the thing, I think, in my opinion, that set Gavin off. Ever since Lee said that look, it doesn't matter if he doesn't come on your show, that set Gavin off. And he immediately switched something in his head, and he switched something in the interview, and he immediately began almost attacking Lee Camp. Not really attacking, but being very confrontational. And you could tell that he was very irritated. He kept shaking his head and, ranting and raving. And he basically said that he doesn't appreciate that Lee Camp is chalking up their reporting and I guess disrespecting their reporting, because, they spent hours interviewing people that were past associates or volunteers of Movement for a People's Party. But they're mad. You can tell they're very angry about the fact that Nick Brana won't come on their show. And Lee Camp was trying to get them to say, he's trying to get them to understand that, look, just because Nick doesn't come on your show doesn't mean that, you know, he deserves all this extra stuff. You know, he's been on other people's shows. He's already talked about these issues. And they were like, no, he hasn't. And Lee Camp was like, yes, he has. And they just kind of go back and forth with that. And it's a very strange, awkward, and cringy moment, because Gavin at one point says to Lee, you know, why do you think that it's okay to talk about the inconsistencies in the Green Party, but it's not okay to call out the hypocrisies and inconsistencies in Movement for a People's Party? And Lee Camp was like, I never said that. All I said was these are good people trying to do good things. And just because they don't come on your show doesn't mean that they're necessarily wrong. Doesn't mean that, you know, that's indicative of them being corrupt or anything like that, just because they won't go on your show. And Gavin was like, no, I didn't say that. I said was, you know, what do you say? That he hasn't fully defended the allegations, you know, and it just gets weird. It really gets weird at the end of the interview. And, you know, Zach is there. He's playing the nice guy. Gavin is playing the bad guy. We're good cop. Gavin is playing the bad cop. So Zach is thanking Lee Camp, and he's like, you know, well, thank you for coming on, you know, and this, that, and the other. And you could tell Lee's like frustrated at this point. He's like, yeah, thank you for having me on, because we covered a lot of important shit. You know, excuse my French. That's what he said. And you could tell, like, the way he said it, it was almost like, yeah, we covered a lot of important shit, except for this, you know, except for this last part. I don't know what the hell happened, but, you know, it's just funny. And, you know, so Zach thanks him, and he's like, yeah, thank you for having me on and whatever. And Lee just hangs up like, boop, he's off. Like, almost immediately, you know, after the word gets out of Zach's mouth, like, Lee is out of there. You see a screen just cut off. And people are even voicing their concerns in the comment section, in the live comment section during the video. And Gavin actually acknowledged one of the criticism, and he said, look, well, I'm sorry that you feel like that was a bad take. This is just how I feel. And then they go ahead and cut it. So I'm going to dive into this a little bit more. I want to actually play the video for you guys, really, because it's a really awkward exchange. And honestly, I don't understand why it flipped like that. From what I saw, all Lee Camp was trying to do was to try to explain to them that, look, the Movement for People's Party are doing a lot of hard work. They're doing, you know, they're trying to do good things. And for whatever reason, Gavin took that and made it out to be a bad thing. So he kind of, like, I guess, took it the wrong way, especially when Lee Camp said, look, you know, just because he doesn't come on your show, that doesn't mean anything. That's when Gavin flipped. He was like, whoa, what do you mean? And he starts asking Lee Camp, well, do you support the Green Party, Lee? Do you support the Green Party? Lee, do you support the Green Party, Lee? Lee, do you support the Green Party? Like, he turned into a 5-year-old. Literally, he turned Gavin turned into a 5-year-old and started asking Lee, hey, do you support the Green Party? Do you support the Green Party? So how can you say that, you know, you can't call out Movement for People's Party, but you call out the Green Party? And Lee's like, I never said that. All I said was these are good people doing good things. Like, you could tell Lee Camp was frustrated. Like, why are you attacking me like this, bro? Like, what happened? What happened? You know, apparently Lee Camp has been on their show before, and I guess this is the first time something like this has happened, apparently. So I don't know, man. It was really weird. Like I said, it was a cringy take. Even the people in their own comment section, like, half of the people disliked the video. They got, like, if I'm remembering the numbers correct, it was like 300 and something dislikes, 600 or something likes. So a lot of people disliked the video. Even more people went into the comment section and was telling them, basically, you guys had a bad take, or this was really cringy. And, like, a lot of people in the comment section were not happy with how that interview ended. And I'm sure Lee Camp didn't like it either. Let me tell you, how fast he clicked off was very indicative. Like that said everything to me. how fast Lee Camp clicked off. You could tell he was frustrated, like, man, I don't have to be here. I came on your show for you to attack me like this, and all I was doing was just, you know, I gave very tepid support for Movement for a People's Party, just saying that they're doing good things, and I get attacked like this? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Let me say, being a viewer of that interview was crazy to watch. That was, like I said, very cringy, and it was a bad take by the Vanguard. And I know really it wasn't Zach. Zach was actually being very cordial, and he was being very respectful, and he didn't get up in arms. All Zach really said was, hey, we invited Nick Branagh onto our show, and then that's when Lee Camp fired back, well, look, you know, just because he doesn't come on your show doesn't really mean anything. That's all that Zach really said, and he was really respectful. So the problem mainly was with Gavin. It was with Gavin. And I know sometimes I watch the shows, and it's usually Zach that's the one that's going. He's usually the one going off. But this time, it was Gavin. For whatever reason, Gavin started to dislike Lee Camp towards the end of that interview. And you could tell it was more than just a disagreement. Like, of course it was a disagreement at the base of it, but it was more than just a disagreement because he was so angry at Lee. You could tell, you could look in his face, he's like shaking his head, and he's like, all right, whatever, man. Like, you could tell he's super angry at Lee. And Lee Camp is like, he's the jokester. He's a comedian. You know, he's always smiling, cracking jokes. You know, he gets serious sometimes when he talks about the political stuff. But, you know, like, it seems like a very happy-go-lucky guy, right? So the fact that, you know, he was catching all of that from Gavin is just crazy to me. And then Gavin, one of the things that Gavin said, another cringy thing he said was, you know, I don't appreciate you, you know, disrespecting our reporting that took us hours and chalking up our reporting that took us hours or whatever. And Lee Camp was basically like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, bro. I'm sorry you feel that way. All right, bye, click. And then he just leaves out the interview. So let me know if you guys saw that interview. Leave me your likes. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe and share this video. Like I said, I want to come back on another video and actually play that clip for you guys. Just the very end of it. That's all you guys need to see is the very end of the interview, and you'll get what I'm saying. If you guys have seen it, please leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave your thoughts for the other viewers and subscribers of this video, of this channel, so you guys can so they can have a better view and a better outlook of what happened. And love, peace, and light, folks. Love, peace, and light. Until next time, do something kind, rewind, and I catch you guys on the next video. All right, I'm out.